Guys, welcome back to Mayfield Ranch. We thought we'd hang out with you on a Saturday morning and just kind of show you what it looks like around here. So Gary's out there with the paddock blade, just gonna grab a scoop and pick up the donkey poo out there. So he's getting started with that. I'm going to finish putting masks on. I'm gonna get Gunner's mask on him, and I need to spray the donkeys. So we use this Skin So Soft, and I just take a bottle of it, put it in just this cheap spray bottle from Walmart, and use that. It lasts about 1 week, one bottle, 1 week. So kind of expensive, but it does work for us to keep flies away from the donkeys this year. And while I'm filling that spray bottle, Gary's already back on his second scoop. So I'm just gonna spray down their legs, and this has really helped us this year. Now this is the first year we're using the Skin So Soft. Some of the other methods that we've used just aren't working this year. So I don't know if the flies are different or what's going on here, but it's working well for us this year. And just this method of spraying them down a couple times a day or one time a day, just kind of depending on the weather, if it's breezy, what's going on. But this has been pretty effective, along with using the paddock blade to keep the flies away. We do have some fly traps out in the garden. One little tip on that is, I will say, you definitely want to put those things away from your animals. You don't want to draw the flies to the animals. But so far, so good. We're just trying to take care of these guys. Gunner's being a real good boy here while I spray them down. So we'll get that all done, and then I'll show you what we're doing next. If you don't know about it, then I'm gonna leave a link here so you can check out the full video we did. But this thing is amazing. So he's done 2 swipes now, maybe 3 swipes, but you can see how much it's just cleaned up these piles. Just a close look, kind of on the edges it leaves a little bit, but you can come in just with another cleanup swipe and clean all that up. It is so quick. He gets done picking up the poo every weekend by the time I'm done feeding the animals. So super quick. Charlie! Charles! Goose is a good little boy, so I don't think we've really shared it on the channel, but Gooser lost his little girlfriend a couple months back, and it was a little tough, but he's now Charlie's best friend, so he does stay with Charlie, hangs out with Charlie every day, sleeps with Charlie every night, so he's doing pretty well. So the next thing we do is feed the chickens and the ducks. They're pretty easy. Just open the gate. Half of them will come out that main door there. And then the rest of them, I'll open their little chicken door and they'll come out. Now these guys think I have some food, which I do, but they're just wondering why I didn't put it in their bowl yet. So they're just looking at me. So we'll get this little door open here. Their little chicken door. So they can come in and out. Some of them wait for that door to be open. And then I'll give them some food so they have some food to eat. Now we do feed them in their little chicken run because we don't want the goats to be able to get to their food. Otherwise, Lola and Emma will just eat all the chicken food. And they have a little swing there too if they want to get on it. Some of them do once in a while. Now let's check for some eggs and see if we've got any eggs in here. We've got this one little chicken that really wants to just have some babies. She likes sitting in here on her eggs. All right, let's let the goats out. So Lola and Emma are next. They're definitely eager to get out in the morning. They have to wait, so we have to feed everyone else first. And they are last because otherwise they will just go for everybody else's food. If you try to open the chicken coop door when Lola and Emma have access to it, they'll just rush it and run right in there. So easier to just do them last, give them their stable mix, and they've got some food to eat there. Sometimes we give them hay too, just kind of depends what they get each morning. Now we do hook this door because it gets a little windy. We don't want that door to slam into the other animals. And you can see there, everyone's out and happy, and Gary is still picking up poop. So he's probably on swipe number 5. I think he's probably about done, and he's looks like he's gonna just go ahead and grab. Yeah, it looks like he is. So he's getting off the quad. He's gonna go ahead and just scoop up the poop along the fence line. It is a little tough to get the paddock blade like right up to the fence line, and our donkeys, for whatever reason, really like to poo right along the fence line there. They have a few places where they enjoy pooing. So just a few scoops and he'll get that cleaned up. Now, it's not that it's super easy to shovel it, but it's so nice with a paddock blade that it gets almost everything up. So we're only having to shovel just in those tough to get areas, really pretty much right along the fence line. And maybe if there's just like a random little bit of poo somewhere else, like right over here in kind of the circle area or corral area for our donkeys, they do have an area where they've been pooing in there. Now we can get the quad in and get the paddock blade in, but it's pretty long. So like this little bit right here, my guess is Gary will just come scoop this up because it's on top of sand. It's pretty easy to pick up instead of turning the quad around and driving it in. Oh, maybe he is. It looks like there's a lot of poo or anything like that, then we can definitely just bring the quad in. It's just not a big space. So it's usually easier to grab this stuff along the fence line and just pick up anything small in their little corral area. Okay, so let me give you guys a better look. So the paddock blade's full of poo. He's got it all scooped up and just used it as a little, I don't know, wheelbarrow, kind of just shoveled on top of it. But look how clean this ground is here where the donkeys had a big pile of poo. So let me try to give you a close-up look. There's a couple little edges where maybe we didn't get 100% of it up, but overall this is really, really cleaned up and much better than it ever would be if I was out here shoveling it. He's so quick to get out here and get it emptied. I was trying to show you how to empty it, but it's super easy. We have a full video on the paddock blade, so I'm going to leave a link here. Check it out if you're interested, but if you guys have livestock, get it. So now we have this huge pile of compost right next to our garden, so next year we'll be able to use that as fertilizer in our garden. A couple more tasks this morning are just really getting some of the vegetables harvested from our garden, so I'm out here doing that in the back. Looks like Gary's just making a final swipe here. He's gonna drive over the poo pile to do his last empty and disconnect the paddock blade. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Okay, so I'm just gonna get some things harvested in the garden. We've got these Armenian cucumbers. This one's getting pretty big, so we'll get this one harvested. And then next, my task is I wanna get some of these squash pumpkin vines that are growing all along the ground. I wanna get those trained up on the trellis. So I'm gonna do that next. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to use these little clips to do it. They're tomato clips. Here's what it looks like after. I couldn't show you with one hand, but I got this up on the trellis all clipped in, and that's looking a little cleaner. It's really just to make it easier to see what's growing and harvest what's growing, and also that way I don't step on it when I walk under the trellis. Now I do have some best friends out here with me, and let me show you why they like to be out here. Here you go. Here, let me hand it to you differently. Let me give Coco yours. Want it? Whoopsies. Cora. Want this one? So I give the donkeys a bunch of squash, and I cut off all the leaves of the zucchini and yellow squash, just kind of trim it up, and they get that too. Mama's out here hanging out by herself. She doesn't love the squash as much as everyone else does. But these guys, they like it, and they'll take as much as I'll give them. So there's just an example of how I trim up the squash, and they get the benefits. And they're not the only ones that get the benefits. So that's why we call this garden the animal garden. All the animals get snacks. And they don't just get squash. They also like to have all the cucumbers, so they get the big ones. Now this little girl is so cute. She's asking for more snacks, even though, look, there's squash right over there. Like, it's still on the ground. There's leaves. But she's over here asking for more treats in the cutest little way. So I do plant things pretty close together, and I'm growing my cucumber up that trellis. Now sometimes a sneaky little cucumber will be in here and it'll end up getting huge. So it's amongst the peppers. I'm gonna harvest this, and look how big it is. So it's like 3.5 feet maybe, and it's huge, hard to even carry. So mostly my cucumbers just get pretty big. I harvest them like this. This is how we eat them. You guys, right in the middle of the working in the garden, this hawk, or maybe eagle, I don't even know what it is. We had a little near miss attack. I had to run and get the chickens back in the coop. It was over here causing trouble.
There you go.
There you go, Emma. Charles! Not your style? You don't want it? What would you rather have? Oh, my finger. Little girl. The phone? No, thank you, ma'am. You go ahead and eat your cucumber. No, it's a cukie. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you want to check out the whole garden tour, I will link that here, and you can watch that video next. See you next time.